This month on ABN AMRO World Hockey, we bring you the battle for the 12th and final Olympic spot from the heart of Japan. Great Britain looks ahead to Beijing and beyond. We catch up with one of the deadliest strikers in the world. And Chilean hockey looks to lay the foundations for future success. The battle for the last Olympic qualification spot took place in the land of the rising sun, Japan. The city of Kakamigahara hosted the third leg of the qualifiers and, not surprisingly, the home team had the lion's share of the support. The world champions Germany were the overwhelming favourites to win this one, determined to make amends after missing out at the Euro Hockey Nations Cup last year. Malaysia, Poland and Japan all entertained dreams of an upset win. Germany began their campaign against unfancied Italy, and it was all one-way traffic, the world #1 side registering a crushing victory with all their stars, including Christopher Zeller, tasting success. Host Japan had a much tougher time against the hard-working Swiss. Level until 10 minutes from time, the hosts had skipper Takehiko Yamabori to thank for getting them 4 points. Day 2 saw Italy raise their game to give the Malaysians a run for their money in a goal fest. With just 4 minutes to go, Italy sneaked into a 4-3 lead. But in the final minutes, Malaysia nicked a face-saving equaliser. Poland trailed by 2-0 against the Swiss on day 3. But they came back superbly to tie things up before Marcin Strajkowski scored the winner to bring up Poland's first win. Under pressure after the draw against Italy, Malaysia ran into the informed Germans. Christopher Zeller's fourth goal in 2 games put the Europeans in front. Coach Marcus Weiser's men were unstoppable. They notched up 2 more, Oliver Korn scoring the second off a rebound. On day 4, Malaysia needed a result against Switzerland to stay in contention for a place in the final, but the Swiss soon had them on the mat. Eventually, their greater experience came to the Malaysians' rescue, and Kelvinder Singh's goal gave them the narrowest of wins. Germany and Japan squared off on day 4 in a battle between the 2 unbeaten teams in the tournament. The Germans, though, were too sharp on the day, playmaker Moritz Verstay putting them 2-0 up in the 49th minute. Then Christopher Zeller did what he does best, twice flicking home from the top of the circle to complete a rout. The Japan versus Malaysia encounter turned into a decider, with the host looking for at least a draw to make the final, but the Malaysians drew first blood.
Shot goes low and it's deflected, and Malaysia are ahead here.
The sides traded blows, with Malaysia a goal ahead until the final minute. Then came the drama.
Chance here though for Japan, surely! This gone in! And Murray Grime is calling for a timeout. It's finished in the net, but I don't think the umpire's given it yet. It's a big call for Murray Grime here. 1 minute and 47. You can see the grey cells working here. He's given the goal. He's given the goal. And Katayama there celebrates.
Switzerland met Italy for the 5th place after hammering them 4-0 in a previous game. This one was a tight affair and Massimo Lasano's solo effort proved to be the difference.
Oh, what a special goal from a special player there. Wonderful run and finish by Massimo Lanzano.
Malaysia played Poland for third place. It finished 3-0 to Sarjit Singh's team, but that was scant consolation for what had been a nightmarish tournament for Malaysia.
Govinda to finish it here, shoots, and it's gone in. They made something of a meal of it, but Tajuddin got the final touch, set up unselfishly by Govinda.
Going into the final, Germany had scored 26 times without reply and looked in awesome form. Soon they had their 27th, Florian Keller drawing first blood.
Well, picked out by Mernert. He plays the ball now for Vithaus. Vithaus goes on a solo run. Vithaus goes for the shot, and it's in the nets.
It was a clinical performance by the Germans, topped off by 2 strikes from Christopher Zeller, who finished with 9 goals in the tournament.
Now Zeller takes it on and scores, and with it surely goes Japan's hopes of Beijing.
So Switzerland finished bottom of the heap while Italy were 5th. Poland took the 4th spot behind Malaysia. Japan finished 2nd, but it was world champions and Champions Trophy winners Germany who stood tall at the end with a flawless performance to complete the 12 qualifiers for the Beijing Olympics. After months of hard work, it was a moment to savour for Great Britain. The team had been placed in a do-or-die situation, with the Olympic qualifiers in Chile being their last chance to make it to Beijing. And they achieved their target in style, beating India by 2-0 in the final.
Well, over the last 5 months we've been around the world. We were lucky to get invited to the Champions Trophy, so we played in Malaysia in December. We toured South Africa in January and we're lucky enough to play South Africa and Canada there. So we played a lot of games since the end of the Europeans, when England, Scotland and Wales ceased to exist and Great Britain takes over as a unified team of those 3 home nations. So we played a lot of games in preparation for this tournament here in Chile, and we've been around the world to find those games.
Careful planning has been the key to Great Britain's success. Charting their future is 1988 Olympic gold medalist David Faulkner, who is now their performance director. His brief, though, extends much beyond the Olympics to be held in Beijing this year.
When I presented a vision for doing this role for England and Great Britain hockey, it was about trying to fix hockey over 2 Olympic cycles, not 1. Really important, because in the 90s, Great Britain, from 92 Olympics to 96 to 2000, 2004, have tried to fix things in 1 cycle, but actually they've never been able to give time to establish, so there's been like a reset after every cycle. What we're trying to do here now is have continuity across 2 cycles and put faith into coaching. What we're trying to do, put faith into the players, back them with events, so that we have so long term, post 2012, we have a legacy for our sport.
Ironically, England's Olympic success in Seoul is not something the men in charge would like to dwell upon. Hockey has changed a lot since the triumph in the 1988 Games, where they won their last gold medal.
I'm always concerned that we always talk about the past and not enough about what's happening now and the future. It's been termed to me, there's a cloud over the players because of the 88 success, and we have a similar thing in Great Britain or England with the 1966 World Cup team in football, where there's always a pressure of what's done in the past. In my role as performance director, it's about what we're doing in the future and removing, it doesn't influence our performance today, and trying to help and manage and support those players through what are pressure situations.
Participation in the sport is high. There are 100,000 players in England, 5,000 in Scotland and 3,000 in Wales. Coaching is the key to moulding them into quality players, but it remains an area of concern.
Since hockey really entered what is called the funding world, where it got directly funded from the government, one area that was ignored and left alone was coach education. So whilst we had coaches at the performance end, we were not developing our next line of performance coaches. So they may be at our clubs, or our regions, or our counties. So what we have is we've had an isolation of performance coaching without developing our next breed. So an investment in Jason and Danny, for example, as our head coaches, we're also running a lot of the coach education now to bring a program called a Century Contracted Coach program, so that we're looking now for 6 to 8 years' time where we've got a natural source of coaches, performance coaches, to support our national team.
At the world level, Great Britain realises there's still a lot of work to be done before it can catch up with top teams in the world.
Top four at the moment in men's world hockey, so Australia, Germany, Spain and Holland, they're a long way above the rest of the countries. I think Australia, Holland and Germany have such a fantastic hockey infrastructure through all their levels that we would have it would be difficult for us to get close to them in the short term. Although we can beat them in one-off games, but in major tournaments to end up higher than them, they have to play poorly, or you have to beat a number of those teams. I think Spain have got a really golden generation of players, and hopefully some of them will retire sooner rather than later. But I think Great Britain and England, Scotland, Wales are doing a good job as the next tier of countries, and I think we, as an international programme, we're making good strides, and also there's good strides, I think, in the infrastructure that supports that and has a reflection in just our basic game at home.
Within the group, I think we have a fine balance. It is a young team. We only have 4 players here who went to the Athens Olympic Games. But there's been a lot of experience gained over the last 3 years, and with the recent inclusion of someone like Ashley Jackson. I think the challenge for us in the men's game in particular is to widen that pool of players, because outside this group we do not have enough players currently challenging for international slots. Now, when you don't have that competition, you then don't advance your team when they're back home training as quickly as you would like. They'll always advance when they're playing international competition, but what you want to do is to have that performance environment back home in your domestic environment.
International success is a key to the growth of hockey in Great Britain. A good show in Beijing will certainly raise the popularity of the sport ahead of the 2012 Olympics. After the break, we're up close and personal with Holland's deadliest striker.
Real opening for Holland, into the circle we go, shot, oh, what a finish! What a finish that was from Ronald Brouwer, and they don't come, Rick, any better than that.
Despite scoring goals like this, Ronald Brouwer is one of the unsung heroes in a Dutch team full of superstars. The archetypal fox in the box, Brouwer is one of the deadliest finishers in the world. Not surprisingly, he's a vital cog in coach Roland Altman's side. And while it's club and international teammate Tim de Nooijer who generally grabs the headlines, Brouwer is rated to be just as dangerous by opposition coaches who've been driven to despair by the almost telepathic understanding between the two.
Teun is of course a very skillful player, and he can really read how you walk, where you want the ball, and we've been playing together for a while now. Also at Bloemendaal at this moment, but also before with the Dutch team, and we kind of have this connection in the match, and it's really nice. You know, he knows exactly where you want the ball, and yeah, that's really nice to work with. Yeah.
Brouwer, who made his debut in 2001, has always been a striker, and he firmly believes that a striker is born and not made.
Well, I think the most important thing for a striker is that he always wants to go to the goal. So he's always pointed towards goal and always tried to make an action to get a shot on goal, and that instinct is the most important thing, and that also makes you search for the right spots in circle, and makes you sit at the second post waiting for that one chance of getting or of knocking the ball in, and I think that's the most important thing.
But being a striker has its downsides as well. Injuries are part and parcel of the game, and Brouwer has had his fair share.
I'm a very explosive player, and I really want to get the ball, steal the ball, and that means also that you get the chance of getting injured. And I'm always at the second post waiting for balls, and I'm not scared of it. So, yeah, then of course you have the chance of being hit. And the one where I fractured my cheek or my cheekbones in the Champions Trophy final in Barcelona was just bad luck. I was in the defensive circle, and yeah, it's a different situation. When you're in your attacking circle, you always watch the ball, and yeah, in the defensive circle, you also have to watch your guy, and yeah, that was just bad luck.
While he's had his successes with the powerful Dutch team, Ronald has yet to land one of the biggies, the Olympic gold or World Cup crown.
We were really close in the Athens final. Australia at the end was a little bit better then, but yeah, we were so close, and that was just tough luck. And yeah, World Cup was just for us a big devastation because we played so well in the preparation. We won everything and played really well, and yeah, because of one little mistake in the first match against Korea, we kind of yeah, just the tournament wasn't meant for us at that moment, and that was really sour because we trained so hard for it. And yeah, I just want to forget that tournament. But yeah, we still have a chance for the next Olympics, and that's our first goal at the moment. We became European champions this summer, and that was a prize that none of us had won before. So yeah, let's hope that's a good start for the Olympics as well. So yeah.
With Beijing looming on the horizon, Ronald is hoping that the Dutch juggernaut will pick up steam when the time of reckoning arrives. But even if that doesn't happen, he's not going to lose any sleep over it.
Of course, I just want to win it, of course. But you know, there's only one team that can win it, and I hope I'm going to be on that team. But it's going to be a tough battle, I guess. And just as the last Olympics. And we just missed out on that one, but yeah, I'm really happy with that silver medal, and try to hope to change it into a gold one this time.
He's not always had this outlook to the sport, but as he explains, he's matured in the last couple of years.
Before I was a young player who just wanted to play hockey and nothing else, and now since I have a wife and a kid, it's all changed a little bit because I can go home and not think of hockey at all, and then go on the pitch and have a lot of fun. And to me, I'm not sure if I go on after Olympics. I have to decide that. But Olympics for me is just I'm just going to enjoy it more than I enjoyed the last one, because then I was just a young bloke and wanting to win. But I've experienced that it's also really important to understand that you're a lucky person to be able to play hockey on this level and to travel around with the team. So yeah, I enjoy being with the team a lot more than I used to.
He's always had a buzz about him when he's on the pitch, and he's no different off it, balancing his sport with an all-action lifestyle.
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty busy person. Next to my hockey, I do a PhD in coastal engineering, and I have a wife and a kid, so it's pretty hectic. My wife, she's a ski guide in Austria, so we go to the mountains a lot. I snowboard really. I try to snowboard a lot in winter. So it's a really hectic life at the moment, but yeah, that's the way I like it, and my wife is exactly the same. So. Yeah, it's pretty normal at home that we can't sit still, so yeah.
And just as at home, Brouwer is far from still on the field. His ability to slip into spaces and be in the right place at the right time is what coach Altmans is counting on to bring his team Olympic glory. Sandwiched between the Andes and the Pacific, Chile is a nation of stunning natural beauty. Almost 2/5 of the population is concentrated in and around its capital, Santiago, nestled in a valley with the Andes as a backdrop. The city has developed into a financial hub as well as a centre of culture in South America. Santiago is also the nerve centre of hockey in the country, but the sport is slowly growing in popularity.
I think we've been improving since a couple of years, since we have started going outside, playing tournaments, and the most important thing, getting good coaches, good seminars, also having some players playing in Europe. Also, I think that helped us a lot making this Junior World Championship 3 years, almost 2.5 years ago. So that made a little bit growing the hockey.
The Olympic hockey qualifiers held in Santiago in March were just the boost the Federation president needed in his efforts to popularise the game in the country. It gave the Chileans a chance to see some top-class hockey. The large number of fans who turned out to cheer their team was a measure of the sport's popularity.
I think it's too great to show to Chilean people and Chilean players the world highest level. We have never had this kind of tournaments and this kind of teams like India, Great Britain, and since a long time we've been playing or trying to get into the 15 best teams of the world, but playing in Europe or somewhere else, and we've never showed the level that Chile has to the Chilean people.
Chile are currently ranked 20th, and the path to success has not been easy. Regional giants Argentina are the only world-class opposition in the Pan-American region, and the team has to travel to Europe or Asia to get a taste of real competition.
In this area, our best performance was at the Pan-American game at the Rio de Janeiro this last year, where we ended third. I think our goal in the area it's to finish second after Argentina. To prepare, we need to go to Europe, and it takes 3 weeks, of course, and that's a lot of money. We don't have the budget of the federation, it's not enough. And to go to India, Pakistan, a lot more also. And there's on the other side the problem that we are amateurs, and most of the team are workers, so we don't have all the time to take those 3 weeks to go to India, Pakistan, and of course it will be great to make more tours like that, as all the teams does.
But things are changing for the better. The Federation has chalked up a busy schedule for the players who are looking forward to the exposure.
There is a Russian invitation for a tournament, I think in July, against Malaysia and Austria, I think also. And of course, that's all a preparation for the next America's Cup. I think it's going to be here in Chile also.
Personally, Montego had reasons to be happy after the Olympic qualifiers. With 11 goals in the tournament, he ended it as the top scorer. But the team's performance came as a disappointment. The hosts' only victories came against Mexico, and they finished 5th in the 6-team competition. The time seems right for a transition to a new generation of players.
Well, I would say that the senior team, this team, we're going to have a renovation sadly after this tournament, because they've been 4 or 5 years playing, and after 4 or 5 years they get tired. They have to. Some of them getting married, some of them they have to go to business or work. So we are preparing ourselves, this junior team, 9 under 21, to take it over. It's going to be a problem because, of course, there's a big difference between the senior and those coming in. I'm not saying the other ones are not good. We're giving opportunities. And now, for example, the junior is going to Uruguay for the South American. Then we're taking them to the Pan Am, to the Junior Pan Am, to Mexico and Trinidad. I think we need much more exposure. We need much more, I would say, international events and level. And look, imagine Europe. They're playing every week, every 2 weeks, and here, an air ticket to go, for example, to Europe or to the States, it's very difficult.
The future of Chilean hockey is now in the hands of the new generation. This sports-loving nation is hoping to shake off the disappointment of the Olympic qualifiers and come up with improved performances in the future. That's all we have for you this month on ABN AMRO World Hockey, but next month we bring you action from the women's Olympic qualifiers. Until then, goodbye.
For the majority of young aspiring footballers, the road to a professional contract is a tough one. Over the past few months, some trainees have received the devastating news that they haven't made the grade at their club. Matthew Cassidy, who'd been at Bolton's academy since the age of 14, realised his future could lie elsewhere.
I said to one of the youth coaches, Pete Farrell, I said, look Pete, it's obvious to me that it's not sort of working out. Are you able to have a word and just sort of see? Because if they are still interested in me, then obviously I'm going to need my chance to play. And then a few days later, the reserve coach, Jimmy Phillips, came up to me and he said, we've understood how you feel, and the club aren't looking to offer you a new contract, so you're free to move on.
A central midfielder by trade, Matthew can also play at right back. Last season he was voted Bolton's Academy Player of the Year. So how did he deal with the news that he was now free to move on?
The way I sort of dealt with it at first, I was kind of jokey about it, and I tried to sort of, you know, move over it. The point with just tried extra to be bubbly and things. But there was a point when I first sat down and thought, right, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to start ringing clubs and things. That it actually hit home, and it was like, God, I'm you know, going to be looking for a new club and being released, and it was quite a shock.
But players like Matthew do get a second chance. A few weeks ago, the Premier League held their annual under-18 assessment trials for released trainees. The three-day event held at Warwick University gives these players the opportunity to showcase their talents in front of other football scouts. There are also seminars on developing their careers in other areas of the game, like coaching or refereeing. Hugh Jennings is the Premier League's youth development manager.
There are lots and lots of examples of players who first time around at 16, 17, 18 perhaps hadn't made the grade and have had opportunities later on, and we've used a couple of examples. Freddie Eastwood, currently at Wolves, who attended at these trials, David Carney at Sheffield United also, and those are two good examples for the young men to try to emulate.
The incentive was certainly there, and between 60 and 80 scouts gathered at Warwick for the chance of a potential free signing. As well as Premier League representatives, Football League clubs, conference sides, plus teams from Scotland, Ireland and the American universities all sent scouts.
The standard in general is good. There's always one or two players that excite you, and you think hopefully that they've got